Hello and welcome to Filmfolket Podcast. And we also have a disclaimer. Though to copyright reason we are not allowed to use any screenshots anymore. And it's mainly because we don't own the channel. And it's just the way it is. I'm gonna put a picture on the screen and also in the description below an explanation why it is the way it is, and I hope that you all will stay anyway and keep listening to us. The ones that are talking today is Göran,
Johannes,
Daniel.
Today's movie is Doom from 2005, the movie in brief.
In the year 2026, an ancient alien portal device to Mars is discovered in the Nevada desert. With the means to instantly travel to another world, the Union Aerospace Corporation sets up a research base at the Olduvai crater. About a decade later, UAE research into the humanoid remains of Mars's population unleashes genetic monstrosities on the base, and a team of Marines are sent to secure the site.
That's a good summary, and it's kind of interesting how this movie goes, and it feels like first they get sent in just to solve a mystery and find people that has been affected, and it is not until like the end of the movie it starts to feel like Doom. But it still is a fun action movie, and we also get the famous big fucking gun. So I still think it's good.
Yes, I agree. And I like you mentioned earlier, it's more like the Alien movie in the first, like, beyond half past the movie, and then it starts to becoming Doom. But I kind of like it too, because you give the sense of a horror movie at first, and then not until the last moment you start with the action theme. I kind of like that. I like how they made the mutants alien-ish, how they made it look pretty much like they are in the games. And of course we have The Rock, and he plays The Rock. Yeah. Can't say much more about that. The action part in the end of the movie, where they have the first-person view, they really did a great job with that. It's not perfect, but it is interesting.
It's a very bold choice, technologically and in terms of special effects, and I think it really pays off. I don't think any other movie had dared to do that kind of a thing, and I think I've only seen anything similar in 2 other movies. That's interesting.
Like Hardcore Henry, for example.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's a lot of characters in this movie that have interesting characters. We have the comically relief guy / pervert, and then we have like the new kid that's getting into the army. And then we have The Rock, of course. We have another like guy that wants to hit on one of the other soldiers' sister for some reason. And yeah, it's good chemistry of characters in this movie.
It's the way you set things up with these kinds of movies with let's say, military unit. You kind of have a system in a movie where each character is supposed to have this kind of standout personality so that you remember who they are, and I think that's competently done for the kind of scenes they do. The Marines each have their oddities and peculiar behaviors. Kind of makes you wonder about the recruitment standards.
And I like what they did with there's always a character that has knows another character in the places they're going or something like that. Usually it's an ex or something, And then they have this weird sexual chemistry or awkwardness throughout the movie with those two characters. But this time they made it so it's the sister of one of these unit members. And I kind of like that spin instead.
Yes, the main protagonist, John Grimm, how he is... It's his sister, it's not his ex or anything like that. And I think that provides more investment to the character. Aesthetically, the movie emulates Doom 3 a lot, with its dim lighting and flashlight play, theme of the prehistoric Martian civilization and the design of the monsters, the imps, the character of Pinky with his wheelchair and his subsequent mutation. It's basically one-to-one Doom 3. And stylistically, it's very much a product of Doom 3.
And I think it's an interesting choice that they've made it so you don't see much of the monsters until the end of the movie. So that's probably a good creative side of the movie. And also, I mean, the sound effects are good, and some of the weapons probably look believable to the game as well. So, I mean, I don't have much bad to say about the movie per se.
I agree with you there.
It is a movie that has gotten a reputation for being the absolute worst, but I really don't think it is. It's interesting for what it is, and many people involved with the movie have since spoken freely about what they think of it, and they really don't like it. But depending on what kind of a movie you expect to see, it's really not that bad.
No, I don't think so either. I think people give it too much of a bad rap. Like you said before, they were able to do something that nobody else was able to do because they took a risk. And I think that's what making a movie is all about. You shouldn't be always going for the safe card. Sometimes you gotta make something that's totally out there and might not even sell, but make it anyway.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be a thing of that some people look with nostalgia glasses when they see the movie. And that can probably be it as well. But other than that, I mean, like we said, it's good chemistry between the characters, even if it can be quite awkward sometimes, but that's just how it is. And yeah, I mean, one of the things that I think was kind of interesting also when it comes to this movie was that the sister and also the scientist was the only one that was using gloves to protect herself against the virus, and the other one was like poking on the blood. What's this? So I think it was kind of funny in a way, but also interesting.
Yes, you establish early on that there is something extremely biohazardous, and still people go poking around in it. It's really unprofessional, let's say.
I was wondering what could have been done differently and other thoughts. And I mean, I think that they have done as best as they could for the time being, I guess. It still is an early 2000s movie, since it came out 2005. And I think it was a good shot, even if some part could have been better, but other than that, I mean, I don't know what to say, but
Well, I'd say the elephant in the room is that the issue with we're not dealing with demons and hell, which is foundational to the Doom franchise. Instead, they have done this thing with the genetic experiments and everything, and that makes it much closer to a, let's say, Resident Evil style story. And aesthetically, with the lighting and the way the scenes are set up, I think it's basically a movie that's closer to Resident Evil / Aliens. And I mean, if you had just basically done a movie that isn't named Doom, I think it would have been a lot more successful with that premise.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Very well said. It's now when you say that, yeah, it's the T-virus. That's what it is. But on Mars.
Yeah, and they have this these slight nudges to demons and hell and stuff through these throwaway lines, and you have this religious fanatic Marine who could really have been incorporated into that, but they don't do anything with that. And I since read that the reason they excised all the mention of hell and everything from the franchise in the movie is basically because the producers were highly religious and didn't want to do that. I think that's a very interesting stance to take if you want to make a Doom movie.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I also want to say that the music of the movie is... I think they've done some interesting work there with the percussion and things like that in the action sequences, but beyond that, they don't really do much to set the mood. This is also, I think, Dwayne Johnson's last villain role before his famous hero clause. He was going to play the hero, but he found the villain role more interesting. Much like Scorpion King situation, he had this thing where the bad guy was compelling to him. Rosamund Pike, who plays Dr. Samantha, also brought the lessons from this movie into her acting for the Wheel of Time series. This is interesting. She really reacted to the idea that they didn't pay attention to the lore, basically, and really wanted to be accurate for that project. It's kind of a reaction. Pretty much all I had to say.
Personally, I think it's a good movie and it's worth watching, even if you just watch it once. It's interesting.
So, any ideas for next time?
We've been talking about Page Master and what's that mini-series someone suggested? Colors of Magic?
Yeah, it's the Discworld miniseries.
Yeah. And there's a couple of more, but I can't really remember.
Stardust.
That's...
Also, I had an idea here, just as a suggestion for later on, maybe. If one wants to watch more Carl Urban actions, there is the Judge Dredd remake.
Oh, right, yeah.
And stylistically, he's also involved in the movie Priest, which is about basically vampire hunters.
That's actually a good movie.
And parallel to that, it would be interesting to give Equilibrium a rewatch.
Oh, yes. Equilibrium, nice.
Basically similar vibes with the warriors who analyze their enemies for exceptional combat ability. I think that's an interesting angle.
So I wish you all goodbye for this time, and don't forget to watch, like, and subscribe, and follow our social.
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye. Thanks for listening.